Hi everyone, welcome back to Go Together Go Far. In today's video, I'm going to be testing out some soft-sided coolers. We're going to put these to the test using some crazy probes and some frozen jugs of water. We're going to see which one holds up the best. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back. So, as I mentioned in the intro, what we're doing today is we're going to put some soft-sided coolers to the test. I'm going to do that as scientifically possible as I can within reason. So I'm going to use some frozen 1-gallon jugs of water. So I have about the same amount of ice in each one of these. I'm going to take this hard-sided cooler and do the same thing. And then in order to make sure I've got good readings on all this, I bought a 4-prong kind of, probe that I'll put probes down in each one of these and seal it up to make sure I've got a good read on what the temperatures are for all of them. And we'll measure this over the course of about 72 hours to see where they go. So, a couple quick disclaimers. The BougeRV cooler, this one here, 30 can cooler, BougeRV sent that to me for free. These RTIC ones are from a camping buddy of mine, and then this hard-sided one, Blue Ox sent that to me as a brand ambassador for Blue Ox. So, these are the ones we're going to test. I'll have Amazon links down below for all of this stuff. I can't talk about pricing on this as part of the Amazon rules. If I tell you a price in 2 weeks on Amazon, it's going to be a different price anyway, so you'll have to check the links for current pricing. Also, check out my new sign. So I'm super happy about this sign. Dennis over at Rustic Rabbit made this for me. He's a fellow YouTuber. I'll put links down to his stuff down below. He's a super nice dude. Check out his stuff and pick up a sign from him if you want. If you see this sign and you're out camping somewhere at a campground, come say hi. I'd love to meet some people. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so step one of this process is let me quickly show you a little bit about some of these coolers, starting with this smaller one. These all have the same kind of blue insulation on the inside. These ones from RTIC have a small pouch and a couple hooks and handles on the side. On the back, a little mesh for holding some utensils or whatever it is. Both this one and the larger RTIC are pretty similar. Really the major difference there is size. The BougeRV one is, again, on the make and everything it looks like is, again, pretty similar as that. The difference on this one in particular is it does have a couple more bells and whistles than the RTICs, including the bungee on top. It actually has a pretty decent pouch here in the front and some clips, and it comes with a bottle opener, and of course it's got, like the RTICs, it's got the mesh on the back. Interestingly enough, when my camping buddy dropped these off to me, he saw this one and he commented that he actually wished he would have seen this one earlier because it does have a couple features that these RTICs don't have. This hard-sided one is clearly a different animal from these. Hard-sided, very much like a Yeti, something along those lines. This one, actually, the manufacturer is Big Frig. This super nice, actually. The way it locks closed, and it's got a built-in bottle opener and stuff, and handle. Comes with it. All of these are, certainly the soft-sided ones, are all in the same ballpark in terms of pricing. Again, you have to check the links for whatever happens to be the best pricing at any given time. Obviously, the RTIC ones are a little better well-known. You see these in kind of some of the big box retailers. The BougeRV you probably have not heard of yet. So, all right, let's go ahead and start putting some jugs of ice in here. And I'll put it in here. And we'll start getting our probe set up. Okay, so my ice jugs are in, and now I'm going to start hooking these probes up one at a time here. There's that. I'll actually move this around a little bit. So I'm going to seal the zipper on this. How is this one? So keep in mind, there's no water in here. This is just going to be kind of cooled by the air, but I think that's a pretty good test. We'll see how this turns out. And this one will go here. Seal that one shut. There we go. So all the probes are in. A little tight. Move this down a little bit. There we go. And we'll go ahead and let this sit for a little bit and we'll start showing some temperatures. All right, so we've got the ice in, the probes are in, and I just took the first measurement. This is kind of our starting point. And the small RTIC is currently sitting at 47 degrees. That actually is pretty cold pretty quick. But I'm not making too much judgment at this point. The BougeRV is sitting at 55 degrees. The larger RTIC is sitting at 59, and then the hard-sided cooler is sitting at 57. So they're all pretty close. You know, I'm expecting the smaller ones to cool down a little quicker. We'll see how that works. Outside temperature right now is about 70. My phone says it is 73 degrees right now. So it's not oppressively hot. It's not like it's August. It's May 2nd today, and it is noon. So I'm gonna leave these sitting out in the sun, try to get this thing going, and we'll see where this takes us. So we'll be back here in a few hours. I'll take some more measurements, and we'll keep this going until we're happy which one of these works out to be the best. Okay guys, it is 8 o'clock at night, all still on the same day. I'm taking some fresh measurements. I took some temperature readings earlier today too. And it's actually really interesting. So what I'm actually seeing here is today at 5 p.m., and I'll try to show this on the screen to make it a little easier. At 5 p.m. today, the small RTIC, the BougeRV, and the hard-sided cooler were all sitting at 46 degrees. The larger RTIC was sitting at 56. So this one was taking a little longer to cool down. And now that it's 8 p.m., the small RTIC's at 43, the Bouge is at 44, this one is at 45, and the big RTIC is at 51. So they're all continuing to cool down a little bit. The big, this 40 can RTIC is taking a little longer than the other ones, but so far so good. As maybe you can see here, it's starting to rain a little bit. So this is all going to stay out. My next reading is going to be tomorrow morning, or maybe in tomorrow afternoon. I'll get a lot of sun on these, and we'll see if that warms it up a little bit. And all right, let's see what happens. Okay guys, it is about 24 hours since we first put all this in there. It is 12:30 on 24 hours later. Just took more numbers. I took some this morning and some last night as well. Currently where we're sitting, and like I said, I'll try to put this on the screen. The small RTIC is sitting at 42 degrees. The BougeRV is sitting at 50 degrees, which is a little warm. The big RTIC is sitting at 55, and the hard-sided cooler from Big Frig is sitting at 42. So right now, the hard-sided cooler and the smallest soft-sided cooler are doing the best. They also coincidentally have the smallest kind of volume on the inside. I know this looks like it's pretty big, but I'll show you the inside actually is pretty small and pretty thick sides. So they don't seem to be getting much cooler. It hasn't been excessively hot here for the past 24 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and open these up a little bit, and let's take a look at the how the ice is melting on these. That's pretty well melted. I know you can't quite see it, but there's definitely a big cube or a big chunk of ice still in here. On that one, let's take a look at this one. And I use those big chunks of, or big gallon things, because they do tend to last a little longer. That's the same thing. It's about half melted. There's a big chunk of ice still there in the middle. But definitely nice and cool inside there. Let's Let's look at the small RTIC. Same thing. Yeah, pretty much the same. And we'll do the big RTIC. And about the same. So from that standpoint, they're all looking pretty similar. And I'll zip these back up. We'll give it another 24 hours and see how this goes. And after that, I'll maybe open them up a little more and see how long it really lasts. I know typically when you're using coolers like this, you know, you're opening them up and getting in there and getting drinks out and stuff like that. Hey, if you've made it this far in the video and you haven't done so yet, don't forget to click the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. It helps out the channel. And check out some of the affiliate links below. And we'll give this another 24 hours and see how it goes. Okay, so I've been testing these coolers for about 55 hours now. With a gallon of water and these temperature probes. So let's go over some results real quick. Before I do that, make sure you check out gotogethergofar.com. That's our website and blog where we put additional information and articles that may be relevant to you. And if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe, maybe give me a thumbs up, click the little bell notification. I'd appreciate that. Makes doing this whole YouTube thing a lot more fun, so thank you. That said, so the results here, I don't know if are shocking to me. Nothing really stood out except the soft-sided coolers. Really, the colder they got had to do with the size. So the smaller the cooler, the colder it got. So the best one performance here was the soft-sided RTIC, followed by the BougeRV, and then finally the large RTIC. I think that makes sense because I put the same amount of ice in all three of them. So it's kind of how much space did it have to cool down? And so I think that made some logical sense. Most of these, actually all of them, kept it plenty cold in the first 24 hours. So if this is just a short trip or you're using it over a day, any of these are going to work for you. You're probably going to want to look at what size do you need, a small one, medium, or a large one. What's interesting about the heavier hard-sided cooler from Big Frig, it's about a 24 can capacity, so it's not much more than this one, but it weighs 13 pounds. So it did a really good job of keeping everything cold, but it's heavy. So you probably don't want to be carrying it around depending on what you happen to be using it for. So with that said, I hope this video helped you. I enjoyed making it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it. If you haven't done so yet, give me a subscribe and take a look at some of my other videos. I'd appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.